Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018, excuse me, at 7 o'clock. First on the agenda is notice of intent public hearing for 56 West Street, Cliff Van Reed.
Is this new, or is this one new?
This is a new. And
Who would you like this?
yeah, bring it right up. It does fall apart. There we go.
Okay.
If you can see it.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay. Oops. I have the ad.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah,
I've got it.
just
It's in here
give
somewhere.
me the green cards there.
Yep.
Yeah, Maria tries to print them when she can find them. Thank you. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Cliff Van Reed on April 17th, 2018 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. Proposed work location will be done on 56 West Street and involves construction of a single-family house, driveway, and septic system. Construction activities are within 100 feet of bordering vegetative wetland. Okay?
Hey, good evening. For the record, I'm Mike Yerka, Civil Site Engineering, representing Cliff Van Reed. Again, this is 56 West Street, just probably a little east of Rydell Street sits up here. And it's a little over 2.5 acre lot. We're proposing a single family home, driveway. Lot's going to be serviced by town water, a well. And the septic is outside the 50. The house, all the house foundations are outside the 50-foot buffer zone, which is in here. We do have grading in this area. It's within the 50-foot buffer zone, just sloping for the breakout requirements and grading. And like I said, the driveway's outside the 50 and just within the 100. If you can see, here's the 100 that runs down here. So, like I say, part of the house is outside the 100, but most of it is within the 100. So that's pretty much it. We have the proposed temporary stockpile area down here. We have erosion control from the street around the entire project back to the street.
Well,
No well, town water.
okay.
Town water, we show the,
We don't have town sewage there?
no town sewer up there, no.
What's that?
Yeah. Town sewer is quite a ways down the street. So, that's pretty much it. Steve had done a site visit. We had some comments from Steve. I believe we took care of them. One, we added the asphalt drive. We just had proposed drive, so we added asphalt. You can either pave it bituminous concrete or regrind, so we just called it asphalt. Yep.
Could you show us the wetland?
The wetland?
Or the,
Right here.
right there, okay.
It comes right around this
Hard to
way
see
here.
from that,
There was one flag that was missing. We went out there, located it, but it would have given us even a little bit more upland. It's this little triangle here. I don't know if you guys can see it hatched right there. The flag was out that way that we found. Instead of coming straight across, it was out farther, so it would have given us that much. So we just left it the same. It's pretty
this
conservative.
green?
That's the edge of tree line.
Oh,
This
to remain.
field, yeah, Yeah.
Oh, it's a field.
It's a field, yeah. This comes down as a field. This is the next lot up to get, there's a house going on
Yeah.
that
Is
lot
that the
there.
property line, the border? Is your square border your property line, or do you?
No, right here. This is the property line, it comes right down here, right down
I'm sorry,
here, right down
what are
here.
you pointing with exactly?
The black line.
The solid?
Yeah, the solid black line,
Okay.
right to there. Right to there. Comes down here, this way, as you can see, right up here. Right close to the driveway. Comes down close to the driveway and runs around. So that's it in a nutshell there.
And the house is within, what?
It's within the 100, but not in the 50. It's outside the 50. The 50-foot.
See that from our house.
Yeah, you're a ways away. The 50-foot buffer is right here. So you're about 55 feet off the wetland.
The red line is the 50.
That's right. This one here is 50, yeah. And then this second one here is the 100. Ends in.
Steve, do you have any other comments? You got pictures.
Just a couple, two videos, but, so the only comment I had was, the flag, and then, there was a little separation between flag 3 and 4, and 4 and 6, but when you go in the field, when they flagged it, they flagged it pretty conservative.
Yeah.
So I think the flags are a few feet on the upland side.
Yeah, well, that 6 that you looked at was down here, so we are conservative. We're up here. We should have been down there, and like you say, between a couple others. But
So the driveway is
Yeah.
is coming in, right where the driveway's coming in there.
It's a
is
telephone
this
pole.
telephone pole.
Yep.
And what I did is I kind of panned around, and then I went down a little bit and showed you the wetlands to the left. And then there's a gentleman here who's probably talked after, he had some concerns about the culvert,
yeah, comes
and I got some
from
video of that too, and he might speak to that, so.
Well, let's see this video.
Driveway to the right, and then the house is going right in this flat area. And then the wetlands to the left.
Where's the field? Is that overgrown?
No, it's
No,
up to the right.
Up to the,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, all right.
Yeah, twist that's coming towards you.
So the house is not in the field?
No, house is not in the field,
House
it's
is
wooded.
in this
Our
area.
lot is basically wooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The house that's being constructed right now is in the field?
That's correct,
All right.
yes.
Okay.
And that field extends down
Behind?
behind,
Yeah.
yeah, a little
So the
bit.
whole area they're clearing is pretty much
Yeah.
that flat area. And then this is the wetland to the left. It kind of bleeds out,
It does, yes.
and then it just kind of wraps around the little low area.
Yeah, it joins down there where the culvert from across the street
So
comes.
everything's going to the left. So that's that, and then there's some concerns about So, let me try that again. So the driveway is that pole here that we saw before, that's where I was standing. So this is still on, I don't know if you have the culvert on the plan, on the little,
I
on
was
the,
supposed
on
to
the.
put it on
the
a little
one?
plan. Yeah, it's down beyond this telephone pole, about 30 feet. It'd be over in here someplace.
I don't know if we want to address this gentleman's concern that's here, where you see the video, but
Why not? The board have any more questions?
Well, we'll wait till after. Let's hear.
Okay, any butters here want to speak on this project? Could you state your name and address, please?
My name is Richard Boucher. I own property at 5 Grove Street. My
Okay.
property switches around, so I'm actually across the street from 56 West Street. And I'm thinking of putting another baby building there, another house there. My uncle had asked me, so I could split that off. I got 3 acres. Now, as they mentioned, there is wetlands that, my property actually has what Steve and I had called a cow pond that predates the Wetlands Act. And the water flows from up further down across Grove Street into the cow pond. It goes behind, between my property and the cemetery that the town owns, and another drainage pond, and then through a culvert across the street. I have no problems with the house going there. My concern is that culvert over time has rusted out, and over time, this is on the bottom of a hill of both Grove Street, where the sand in the wintertime drains in that direction, so the silt is piled up. So I'm seeing that half the pipe is right now buried in silt, and we're not getting flow. So my problem is mainly the drainage, and it's backing up on my property, so I'm getting more water backed up than is coming through the pipe. So I don't know about drainage, I'm not sure how that affects his wetland boundaries. If more water was flowing, it just may flow through that main course, I'm not sure if it's spread out some.
Is the sand coming from the street?
The sand's coming from
Yes.
the street. yeah.
Both sides they have. On our side, it's a paved swale off, and the water drops in on his side. The town took the berm down and it flows in off that
So,
side there.
I mean, water's coming, it's coming from his property onto this property.
Yeah.
And so I got a video
Yeah.
of both sides. I mean, I think it might be
Yeah.
more of a highway
He-
department issue
Yeah.
than
Well,
He's
let's-
up gradient from us.
he's
Let's
upgrading.
see it
So-
anyway. Now,
I
is
do have
that,
some
This is on the
pictures.
left is Mike's property,
Yeah. That's about where the culvert is there.
wetland indicator.
trash?
And I'll show you the pipe. There's a little
Oh,
old corrugated metal pipe here coming. And then there's some settlement through here, maybe from,
like a blast of sand that came through.
and so there's a little pond here, and then on the other side, about 50 feet, if you look 50 feet beyond, there's an old farmer's pond.
Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
definitely a highway project.
I have, if you don't mind my speaking,
Yeah.
I have spoken to John Furlong.
Okay.
He had come out, and the way the pipe is, it sort of does get clogged and backs up. And I think there is a drainage problem on both sides, because as Steve pointed out, I've got some pictures too, but the pipe he's showing on the side that they want to build a house is sort of half buried, and if that flow kept on going, I think it would just,
So you're
Give
saying
it
where
one
the side that
direction.
this house is on,
We'll just
I'm
keep
sorry.
going.
the side that the house is proposed to be on, that's blocked too? Is
somewhat
that what you
blocked,
said?
and that's what's
Because,
backing
to
up.
me, it
on
looked
mine.
like the pipe was hanging in the air. No?
It's in the water.
If I may,
So that's,
I do have some pictures I can show Steve there.
well, you can show that, I mean.
Yeah.
And you can go back and forth. I think you might see the pipe right here.
Now, was that
Okay.
your pipe or the?
The pipe on his side.
Okay.
It goes, it goes on the
Oh, yeah.
bottom of the pond across, and you can see it's rusting. I mean, it might be a
Yeah.
simple fix of putting a plastic pipe inside of the metal pipe.
Yeah.
What feeds this pipe?
I'm sorry?
What feeds this pipe?
Pond and-
Pond on the
Pond,
other
the pond
side.
His
we're looking
side,
at?
yeah.
See, on
It's-
this side, you have this is where I took the video, but behind it, you have this little pond here, too, you have this
Yeah.
pond.
And the pond is actually fed from upstream,
Yeah,
so there's a wetlands over on the other
Can't do
side of Grove
anything
Street.
about it.
That meanders
That's
around
the
from
one coming
pond,
off on your
meanders around
side.
back
Yeah,
to the
it's coming
retaining
from
pond
him
right next
to
the
us.
road.
Yeah, but that's
And it
pretty
goes from that
clogged up,
retaining
huh?
pond across the road.
I would
underneath
say,
the
well,
road.
yeah,
To the
it's
property
correct.
you're talking
Well, if you look, if you look at Steve's video, on their side of the road,
So in fact,
they cut the bank down,
It's
so
just
everything,
around
the sand that comes down
here.
here falls in his
This is the
side,
second
and then
retaining
comes
pond.
through the pipe.
Right
There's
there.
nothing from our
It's
side that
backing
goes
up
through
because
that
it's not
pipe
getting
that
proper
clogs that.
drainage right now.
You see what I'm saying? Our stuff is from here, so it wouldn't be in that pipe. So,
Oh,
that-
here.
but there's no question, it comes off the
Yeah.
street. I
It
mean,
would-
just like about every culvert in town of Douglas.
Be under, yeah, it'd be under highways jurisdiction to fix that. And that would be a different filing, because this entity can't fix that pipe
Just
for
bringing up that
highway.
there's
Yeah,
a drainage issue.
appreciate you
Not-
bringing it up.
No disagreement with the
Right.
proposed construction, just saying part of that land as well as my land has this flow that,
Right.
That is way down here.
Yeah,
somewhere it's
down- yeah,
off
that's
the
right, it's down
property.
over here, yeah, it comes across down here.
And this
Steve
will
will show
be,
ya.
this will be surrounded with silt wattle, so there's absolutely
Exact-
nothing that can
Right.
get into
Right.
that. And the wetland separates it.
And like,
Yeah.
there's
Quite a
no,
ways, yeah.
there's no fidgeting you can do to keep it 25 out. You got 23 in there. You can't do a little,
Right.
fudging. Just get it
Well,
25
don't-
out.
Listen, don't forget now, this is topographic mapping, that those contours are probably within a half a foot to a foot. So when you really run a 3-to-1 out on the ground in the real world,
Mm-hmm.
not a flat piece of paper, it may be shorter than that, or it may be a little
And-
longer than that.
And that's why I don't
Yeah.
like the fact that we're starting from 23, because what if it's a little longer than that?
What if it's a little
So-
shorter than that?
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, things don't tend to roll for us that way.
Like I say, if you look, we squeeze this up. I mean, if,
There's
I
no
suppose,
way.
like I say, that's pretty much it, because then we're backing it up into the driveway. So we got 23.
Well, how much
That-
distance right now
that-
do you have between it
I
and
mean,
the
you
driveway?
have, basically, at 23 feet, that's the closest, at that point. I mean, that's the closest, so the minute you start coming around this curve, obviously, you'll be, by the time you're over here, you'd be at 25.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm
So, I
worried
mean,
about
that's just that
closest
little-
point. Well, closest
you want me
point
to-
is what we focus on.
Well, you want me to, I tell you, I guess I can, 23, I could probably maybe
Cut
put a
that
little,
corner.
put a little wall there, a couple stones.
Well, because that was gonna be the next question, is really thinking
Yeah.
about if their grading is 23 plus or minus, what's really between the lawn and the wetland, nothing, you know what I mean? They're really on top of that wetland, so those are my concerns.
Want to go to 25, like I say, we can put a couple of stones there and grade to the top of the stone and make it so we'll have it at 25 feet stone.
Actually, because then from there, it'll be, from the stone, will it be like a little drop away?
It'll be
this-
just like a retaining wall, just sit out right on
Well,
the
that's what I'm
ground there.
saying, I
That's-
kind of
yeah.
like that, because there's
This is
no,
all wooded,
That's
right?
correct.
And will
Yes, it is.
remain wooded.
Yes.
well, so what I was saying is that having the stone there, I kind of like that, because that kind of drop away, you're not running the mower right over that, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, there won't
It's all
be a
deep.
mower because it's going to be wooded. And if they
Well,
want to
that-
make a
I'm talking about
lawn,
the grading.
Yeah, she's
The
talking
grading's not
about
gonna be
this.
wooded.
That won't be wooded, that'll be
Right.
over here.
So what I'm trying to say is what prevents people
That's
from-
gonna be grass to there. So I'm just saying, when I get to 25 feet, what have I got, maybe a 5 feet or 6 feet with a couple stones a foot high?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a 3-to-1 slope, so I just put right on here, I put a 12-inch high, double this with a couple stones, and you just grade this corner up to it. That all stays in, and once I hit the 25, that grade stays right into it.
you want to do stones or fencing?
Oh,
A couple of
stones, you gotta,
stones is
you gotta,
fine.
well, it's gotta be a retaining wall, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because we're
Yeah.
talking about substituting for a couple feet of grading.
so it's not a
Right.
couple stones, it's more than a couple.
Oh.
It'll be a wall?
Yeah, 6 feet, 5 feet of
Oh,
wall.
okay.
Of a couple of stones as a barrier,
Oh, a
that's
couple-
right.
2 stones
A good-
high.
Yeah, a stone and a
alright.
half high, I don't know. I got a stone that's a foot high and we're good to go.
Yeah, right.
Like 2 of them, 1, 2.
Basically, I prefer that than the gradual slope, which leads right into 23 feet in from the wetland. Now we're pulling it back 25 and having kind of a whoosh. And I like that because nobody's driving their lawnmower right off that cliff. So we know that the lawn will at least at that corner stop there. Now there's nothing to help us on the east side over there.
Well, from that point, obviously, it starts getting wider, farther and farther away from the wetland.
But still within the 50.
Still within 50, yes. We'll keep it out of 25.
Yeah, that would be an improvement.
So we need a revised
And
plan?
put that in your order of
Make it a
conditions.
condition.
Just condition that,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
happy to
easy.
do
A
that.
couple of,
Condition that retaining wall be placed on
Yeah.
at the,
stone retaining wall at the
Well, I would state it
northeast.
differently. Are we ready for a motion?
I'm just writing this
Yeah.
thought down so Maria will know
What I'm
what to
saying is-
type in.
I think it's more important to say it as, with the condition that they stay out of the 25 by utilizing stone rather than
Whatever it
grading.
takes, right. Okay.
Anybody else in the audience have any questions about this project? Okay. So, we have a motion to
So
close
moved
the
as
project.
just stated with,
Close the public hearing.
yeah. I move that we close the public hearing and issue an order of conditions with the condition that they stay out of the 25 utilizing stone rather than grading.
Particularly at the northeast corner of the grading.
Yeah.
That's about what it is, Northeast corner of the Grady.
Is that the motion?
Do I have a second? Motion been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. And you said it was a northeast?
Northeast corner of the Grady. Septic Grady.
Great. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Have
See you
a
next
good
time
night.
around. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome, good luck.
All good. Take care.
Okay, next we have request for determination of applicability, public meeting for 26 North Street, Hayward Landing. Welcome back.
Hello. Here's my
Ad in the paper.
Here's my ad in the paper.
Excellent. Whoop, I did two things here.
Well, the first one is this one is a little more legible. That's the one that's from the
yes, I
website
don't
that says
need a
what it is.
magnifying glass.
Okay, I do, so,
I do too. I could never read that. All right,
okay.
thank you. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Hayward Landing on April 17th, 2018 at 7:05 PM at the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40. Proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 26 North Street, and the applicant is requesting permission to excavate 2 to 4 test pits within an existing asphalt parking lot located approximately 35 to 65 feet from the Mumford River. Test pits are needed to provide soil information for design and construction specifications for repair of a retaining wall. The excavations will be backfilled upon completion and the area patched with asphalt.
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Yep. My name is Nancy Marshall. I work with Ransom Consulting, and I'm here representing Hayward Landing. Hayward Landing has a paved parking lot that runs parallel to the Mumford River, and in 2 areas there are timber retaining walls here. Both of these walls are showing some evidence of failure, so eventually we will be submitting a notice of intent to repair those walls. One of the things we need in order to complete those bid specs and design specs is some information on the soil conditions down in this area. What I show over here, and the reason my company is involved, is way back when there was a petroleum release from an underground storage tank over here, and it's impacted this area of the site. That has all been remedied and closed out with the Massachusetts contingency plan. But you can see here that this is what we had assumed was the disposal site boundary. And looking at the design drawings for where they're going to be doing some excavating to repair this wall, it's pretty close. I've kind of superimposed that onto this one over here onto our site plan. It's pretty close to where the disposal site boundary is. So what we're concerned about and what we want to find out before we put the project out to bid is whether there is any petroleum impacted soil that the contractor's going to have to deal with here before he gets into doing this whole wall repair. So the thought is to do some test pits out there to determine whether or not we do have impacted soil. We opted for test pits instead of soil borings because we'll get a better view of what's going on rather than a small soil boring hole. So the thought is, as I said, 2 to 4 test pits. The first one would be this one here. If we have impacts in that one, then we don't have to do this one because we know it's already extended that far. If there's nothing in that one, we would come and do this one and see if we are going to hit anything. If there is something in that one, we'll do this one to see if we've gone any further. We may not have to do that one. So I say 2 to 4, depending on what we find in the first test pit. This area is all asphalt. There's a curbing that runs along the end there. Drainage flow is kind of this way. Obviously, we will be putting in wattles in there to control whatever's going on, and we wouldn't be excavating if we know that it's raining. We would push it back. So the idea is to excavate in a day, take a look, backfill everything, and then cold patch it until they come back in to do the project.
What is this?
These lines
That's
representing.
that's representing a pretty steep slope down to the Mumford
Oh,
River.
okay.
So that's why there is a retaining wall here. You've got
No, okay, I know the area, I just couldn't figure
Yeah.
out what that was saying we had there. Okay.
Yeah, that's sloped down. So basically, we think that the test pit portion of this meets the exemption under 310 CMR 10.022B1 as a minor activity within the buffer zone, not subject to regulation, because the activity is temporary in nature, has negligible effects because it's within this asphalt paved area, and all the work will be done in this asphalt paved area, and they're necessary for planning and design purposes, which are the
How
criteria.
large are these
The
squares?
test pits, a backhoe bucket width, which is,
3 by 3?
we probably won't use a 3x3, it'll probably be a 2-foot bucket. So it'll be a 2-foot bucket that'll come back this way.
So maybe 2 by 4 hole?
I would say, well, depends on, we're gonna have to go down to the depth that they're gonna be digging in, so it may be like 2 by 8. I'd
Okay.
say 2 by, 8 feet deep, and then whatever you need to be able to get that depth and pull back. So I'd say, 2 by 8 up to maybe 8 feet deep in that area.
There's no erosion controls on this plan, are there?
Not on this plan. As I said, we've got an asphalt curbing in here. So we're looking for determination of applicability.
Well, wait, an asphalt what?
There's a curb in here,
Oh,
so
okay.
water is not gonna flow that way because we've already got a curb that won't be disturbed
So
in
is
this area.
that shown up
So
here?
you've got a
Okay.
curb right in through here. So what I'm showing here is,
I have photos if you want to see.
okay, this end right here is this end of the wall right here. And you can see that's the white van here and the 2 red cars right there. So this area is basically right in here where the test pits would be. So you've got a slope actually that's running downhill. It runs down that way. And then we've got a curbing all along the top.
How high up does the curbing go?
The curbing
Can you
is,
show me on this map over here?
yeah,
On this, no, just how far along here does it go?
it
Like,
keeps
does
going.
Does it keep
Yeah, it
going?
keeps going. It keeps going. Runs all along the side of that driveway.
It starts up at the top of the red line.
I just stopped by on the way out.
Starts at the beginning of the property line.
Starts at the beginning of the property line and runs all the way back. And this whole area slopes towards the back. The river wraps around up this way as well, and that curve goes all the way around.
But did you mention erosion controls in addition to that, or are you counting on that to be your erosion control for anything that is disturbed?
We will have, while they're digging out there, we'll have wattles or something out there just in case there's anything going on. But as I said, we're not planning on, it's a one-day thing and we're not gonna be digging in the rain. So there shouldn't be any runoff as we're out there digging. And then they'll sweep up when they're done. I mean, basically, when they put this stuff down, they're gonna be putting it on poly because there's the chance that it could be impacted by petroleum, which is why we're out there doing this. So everything would be stockpiled on poly. So once they're done, the poly comes up and whatever disturbance was on that asphalt gets cleaned up.
And then how do they reseal? What do they do on top?
The plan is, the day that they're out there, I'm not sure whether they'll cold patch that or put some stone down on it, but they're gonna put something over the top of it when we're done with the test pits. And eventually, I don't know what the time lag is gonna be between this and the work. They'll finish the design plans, they'll put it out to bid. And then this whole area that you see in here that's cross-hatched is proposed for asphalt replacement under the NOI, but we're not talking about the NOI now, we're just talking about the test pits.
Yeah, I guess I still would like to have something a little bit, in the request for determination, I'd like to see it in writing exactly what, so the kinds of things I want to see in writing is how those pits are gonna be covered up when they're done, like what is going over the top of them, because we have to worry about anything that's in there 3 days after you're done, a rain coming and washing something down the drive all the way. Eventually you'll get to the river if you just follow that driveway. Whoosh. So knowing that whatever pit you dig is subsequently somehow capped off in a way that there can be no leaching, no running, no anything. And I'm sure you have a way of doing that. I'm just saying I need to see that in writing rather than just kind of you telling me, yeah, and the same thing with the erosion control. Yeah, we're gonna put some out the day of. I just wanted to see it in the RDA written that there will be erosion controls the day you're working, and when you're done, how, you will be filling the holes and then doing what to the surface so that it is stabilized, for lack of a word, but of course I don't mean loam and seed, but how you're actually going to put the asphalt back together, if you will. So I'm sure you have plans for doing all that, but I need to see that in an RDA for me to say, oh yeah, we don't need paperwork for this, it's all good, which otherwise I'd be fine with it. But those kinds of things are what worry me, and if we don't have them anywhere in writing,
We
then
could condition it that only coal patch
Okay.
be used to close up any excavated holes and erosion be in place prior
yeah, as long as somehow
to
it's.
excavation, not just stored on site, but actually be in place.
And again, I haven't, the RDA, I haven't read the paperwork. Does it actually say about the, you guys putting the excavated material on poly? Is that actually in the RDA as well?
Yes.
Great.
Excavated soil will be temporarily stockpiled on polyethylene sheeting until it's replaced in the excavation.
Good.
Dewatering is not anticipated. What else did we just? Yeah, it doesn't mention, we get that far. We say we're placing everything on poly. And then we're, as I said, backfilling at the end of that day and covering up.
Yeah, so it's the covering up that,
Okay.
a lot more detail, so.
So if you can condition that, then,
I think, and now that you've read that portion, maybe adding on that, you said dewatering is not anticipated, however, if it's required, you must contact the conservation agent prior to doing so.
all right, what it says here is, if dewatering is required, the groundwater will be discharged to the pavement unless evidence of petroleum is observed, in which case it'll be containerized for disposal.
I'm fine with that.
So a condition that, is it cold patch or coal?
Cold patch versus
That's what I
hot mix asphalt.
Yes.
It's the cold stuff that they come around and throw down. And they may end up using hot mix depending on.
And that
Yeah.
part, see, that doesn't matter to me. It was
depends on-
more if they were just gonna put stone on
Right,
top.
it
That didn't
depends
sound-
on whether the plants are opened.
Well, is there a term we can use that would encompass either cold or hot, doesn't matter?
Asphalt.
So just covered with asphalt by end of day.
Asphalt be used to cover the holes, and erosion control be in place.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience have any questions about this project? No. Any more, Mike? Have any questions? Steve?
No.
Okay, we can make a motion to close a public meeting. Anyone?
Okay, I'll move that we close the public meeting and issue a negative RDA with the conditions as follows. Erosion controls will be placed before work is conducted, and the test pits will be covered with asphalt by end of day.
Do I hear a second? Motion been made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Oh, 50 Southwest Main, 715, they have asked for a continuance in writing. So, do we have them on the book, Steve?
Which one?
You don't have them. Yes, we need that book.
Okay. She was kind of looking ahead and talking about an NOI and everything. She was maybe anticipating a positive.
No, she wants a negative
A
on going
negative
ahead
just
with
for
the
these test
pits.
pits.
She doesn't want to have to
Oh,
file
okay.
for the test pits. She's already gonna file for the rest of it.
Okay, that was confusing, okay.
Thanks, Bill. She might have written it off her hand.
So it would be
50 Southwest?
50 Southwest. They've asked for a continuance.
Seven, well, 7:15?
Is it in there yet? or-
No, Woodland's on for 7.
Yeah, we better do 7:15. Woodland might do one. So, we need a continuance to, what is the date? May
14.
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to continue it till 7:15 on 5/14. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that was just discussion. So, 7:30, we have our RDA public meeting for 77 Mumford Street, Town of Douglas. Need the ad from the paper.
You need or you have?
The ad from the paper, oh, maybe she has one in here. I need to read the ad. I got it. Okay, the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for the Town of Douglas on Tuesday, April 17th, 2018 at 7:30 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40. Proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 77 Mumford Street, and the applicant is requesting permission to construct a bridge and boardwalk to pass over a creek and soft ground along an existing trail crossing. Okay, if you could introduce yourself, please.
I'm Massimo Fontaine. I'm a scout with Troop 316 in Douglas. As you said, I'm planning on building a bridge on Mumford Street for my Eagle Scout leadership project. So I was sorry, I just thought I heard somebody say something. So, yeah, it will be or is planning on being a bridge over a small creek, and after that some soft ground, like you said, not exactly wetland, on a trail loop on the Mazinski conservation land. I've obtained a not sure what the right word would be, received the okay from the selectmen, from the Board of Selectmen for the project. I believe I have that here. No, that's not it. I don't believe I have it, sorry.
Well, we did receive something from the Board of Selectmen. It said, Board of Selectmen voted unanimously in support of Massimo Fontaine's proposed footbridge which will cross over the stream that cuts through Leon Mazinski Conservation Land on Mumford Street. And attaches a plan. This is from the town administrator, Matthew Wojcik. So the Board of Selectmen did send a letter, which we had.
So
So do you have any, because this is a request for determination of applicability, we need to basically know the extent of the wetlands so that we can make a determination, is this just a minor project? Pictures are always helpful. I actually did go out to the site, and I eventually found there were some skids in the crossing. Steve, do you have those pictures that show the skids?
Which are in use?
Well,
People to board the.
that's the question. There's a picture of the skid and the crossing and.
With the right place?
yeah, I have.
Pull your map up. Here was where I found skunk cabbage growing. And on the other side, my concern from here to there is all skunk cabbage coming up, which is, means that that's wetland. It's not just soft ground. I mean, it's actually wetland vegetation growing there. That's my big concern.
There are multiple spots along the river that that look like a crossing. There is a lot of skunk cabbage, but the trail, the two parts of the trail which we would be connecting have virtually no vegetation growing there. I have another photo.
Two
here.
parts of the trail, do you mean just the crossing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Over that's split by the stream. I have another photo here. Sorry.
You want to pass it around? Or?
Yeah. It would be.
Well, that's the same picture.
Yeah. I was saying like on the two it would be like the two closest sides to that palette there.
Well, the thing is, you're building a boardwalk across that soft earth, which is, in my opinion, a wetland. So that would be blocking and covering wetland, which to me would mean reducing the wetland function. And I could see about 20 skunk cabbages coming up. You can't see them because that was taken like a week and a half ago, but they were definitely up about an inch or two. And that's telling me that whole site is a wetland. And but there are other, if you could go to the next slides. Well, that's just showing how open that was, and right there, and that's, almost looks like somebody went through there with a machete and cut down everything. But further up, like maybe 100 feet away, upstream, that picture there, to me, that would be a better place for a crossing. You know, there would be no wetland disturbance, it would just be bank to bank. Because what I'm looking for here, I know with a notice of intent, we pretty much look for an alternative. If there's wetland to be destroyed, then the first thing would say is, why? You know, is there a need? This board would say, why? And like right there, it's bank to bank, it's a gravel bottom, it's basically rocks. You can see further up, it's all rocky. And that's not far away from the trail. So, you know, that is my question so far.
Well, from what I observed when I visited the trail, it was like completely filled with skunk cabbage. Like you couldn't step off the trail without stepping on one.
In that
Yeah.
area. Go back to the first slide. Yeah.
I mean that to get to the area that you had pictured like 2 slides back, that you'd have to cross. No,
That one?
yeah,
There's no
Uh,
skunk cabbage in that area. It was like 100 feet up from the crossing, upstream. I mean, I followed the stream bank 100 feet up. And that seemed to be where it
So
pretty
where
much...
is it, way up here?
No, more towards me. That's heading north. That's the stream is going away from me. It's more upstream.
So,
Because that's all pretty flat. And it's kind of hard to tell on this where, on the GIS exactly where it is. But to me, this is like the worst location to put the crossing. And that's just my opinion. Whereas it could be like 100 feet away, upstream, a better and a smaller crossing. You're just going bank to bank. There was no wetland on either side, just 100 feet away. Maybe diverting the trail, blocking this trail off so it's no longer used.
but by upstream, do you mean it? If you're coming at the stream from the closest side to the road, you
Yes,
would go.
yeah,
you,
the closest
you would
side
go
of the
left.
road.
No, I mean you would go left or right.
is it towards the parking area, or is it
Correct.
towards
Yeah.
what's over? the other
You go
way?
back to,
Mumford?
well,
Mumford.
this is the,
Manchard.
there's the skids, and this is the long, soft area, and it would be going more that way. Because
But is that-
right here, it's all heavily wooded, and basically it's
Is
just...
this Manchard? Is this north? Is this
Yes.
Manchard?
Yeah.
So it's
Is
toward
that-
Manchard?
Is that also the path that he's referring to then?
Oh, no, that
This
goes
path
towards
that's been
Mumford.
mentioned?
That goes towards Mumford, Steve, the parking area,
And you want to head back towards the Mumford?
Mumford Road. Yeah,
So if the crossing is here, you want to go this way?
correct. Like about 100 feet or more away from that low area that's all cleared. It's all, to me, that's all a wetland area. And I know this is just an RDA, requesting if we need more information for your project.
What?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you mind?
Would you state your name, please?
Yeah, Fred Fontaine, Charles Street. We'll have to take another look, but what you're suggesting is completely rerouting the path to go to a different.
Just a little ways, 100 feet.
So we'd have to,
on
we'd have
both
to take a look
sides.
to see if that's feasible, so I guess we have to.
Yeah, because other than that, you're looking at wetland replication.
My concern is there's an existing path there now. The path is going through that soft spot where the skunk cabbage is, so someone's gonna be taking that bike through there.
Well, a path
It's-
and a boardwalk are two very different things. A path people take people choose to take a path. If they don't like that it's squishy, they turn around and they go away. Once you put in a boardwalk, you are really inviting much more traffic. And so it's a very big deal when we start talking about wetlands to add on top of the boardwalk, which, as the chairman said, is actually blocking some of the vegetation. If you put boardwalk over wetland vegetation, you've killed the wetland vegetation, so that's gone. But on top of it, you are,
Mountain bikes are gonna kill it as they go through where the path is now.
okay, a boardwalk width versus a bicycle tire is an entirely different order of magnitude. But my point is that there's several impacts when you start adding boardwalks. You are both covering the vegetation and you are inviting excessive traffic, more so than what you had previously. This is all well documented in the establishment of parks and park trails. So there's literature out there for all this. And so it's a big deal to ask to put trails, formal boardwalk into a wetland area. It's a great intention, and I applaud what you want to do and the reasons for doing it. I totally applaud that. But it's a really big deal to ask to do that in a sensitive, protected area versus just asking to do that in the woods somewhere. This is a sensitive, protected area, and that's why we're here at this board, is because we really don't want any additional impacts to this area. And so if it can be moved so that you are still providing a way across the water, but with little to no impact to the wetland, you can see how it's our obligation to ask that it be done that way instead. You see the difference?
Yes.
We'll have to go take a look at it. We can't, without looking
course
at it
not.
and seeing, yeah.
No, because we'd want to hear more about it too. So I mean, it's something to go and think about what might be, if it's doable, and if so, how might you want to do it?
And on the notice of intent, it says, the work description, bridge and boardwalk, construction to Passover Creek and Soft Brown respectively, and then intended to provide access to loop trail. I walked that property, I didn't see any loop. Could you show on that map where it loops?
Or actually, you had a map, didn't you?
Because to me, it went to somebody's driveway.
Yeah.
There is no,
It's,
Map right here.
there is an existing trail, but it is easy to miss. If you go over where he's saying the bridges, go to
but
the
then you've got
right.
to cross the bridge, you've got to cross the water again.
Oh, yeah,
do,
that-
but it's-
that spot
you can
is-
step- At that spot, you can literally step over.
To me, it was like, well, I'd like to do a site walk then, because I didn't see any
All
loop
the-
trail at
All
all.
the blazes, they're really hard to see, but there is blazes there.
Because I took a long measuring tape to see from that point of the bridge to where the abutter's driveway was, and I came up with maybe 800 feet. So where it stopped and it said, no trespassing.
You would have had to take a right.
Yeah,
well before you
you're
did that.
thinking of taking a left, it seems. Or,
No, the minute I got off the bridge, you take a right.
Yeah, and then.
And you
Yeah,
go
and
to
then
his
there's-
property where the driveway
If you
is.
don't
There's
go quite to
another-
his property, and you have to take another right. That's easy
Yeah.
to miss, but it
This
is blazed, but it's
This
easy to
is
miss.
the property where I came out, right here.
there's after you've taken a right onto that pretty much straight trail that goes to, that would go to their driveway, there's another path on which you take a right.
That goes,
That's,
crosses over the stream again?
yes, but it's literally so skinny that you,
Is it Stone Line? It's probably Stone Line.
Oh, that channel?
Yeah, it gets pretty narrow in that area.
Yeah, because I was out there for about an hour trying to figure out where's the loop.
Do you recall a large log across the path?
Yes.
Just past that large log, there's another right that you would have had to take.
Oh,
And
huh.
it's blazed, but it's easy to miss.
Yeah, because
And then
I'm
there is another
looking at
spot
the
that-
need for this, if we're creating a bridge to nowhere. That was my second question.
Yeah, no, it
You know,
definitely
that-
does loop around. And if you, after parking and you're heading in, did you notice another right that's blazed to the right?
Yeah, and that also dead-ended at a wetlands.
Can I just suggest that the next time
Yeah.
when we do this, we definitely go to Google Earth, Google Earth online, right? And not Google Maps, but Google Earth, and print that out. Because us doing this whole, take a left over the log and jump over the rock, and, we have to be sure that everybody here at the table is talking about exactly the same thing. So I think we really need to have something on paper to work with, and we're also
There's a
saying,
blazed loop there, so.
I have
I personally would like to do a site walk then if it's a loop and provides easy access, so we don't have to build another bridge now.
yeah, I have a map here that will provide slightly more information.
well, what we're saying now, isn't it, that we want them to consider the site that you've
Correct.
suggested? So for let's move forward there first, but when we come back to talk about that, we should definitely have a map in front of us so that we can all point to it and go, okay, this right here.
Well, I would rather look at the site he's talking about how it loops.
Well, I mean, I'm not
really-
saying you shouldn't do I'm not saying you shouldn't do a site walk, but what I'm saying is that we need a map for the next one. And if we're changing the possible proposal, we should hear what the new proposal is.
It's gonna come out to the same path, is what I'm saying. So this, you know, if it's gonna, it's just 100 feet away from this crossing. But it'll still come out to a loop that I couldn't find. Yeah, I'm looking at the need, you know, and is it going to create, that we need now to build another bridge, you know, to make that loop? Is this creating a hazard, you know, for the abutter, that people are going to be going onto his property? Because it was obvious that trail went to the abutter's driveway.
Right, but if,
There's a blue blazed path there.
and what I'm saying is that if that's your biggest issue, that requires no more than reblazing. So that's, to me, that's not the biggest issue. I mean, we can always make that more
It was
obvious.
It was a swamp. See all this? This area, that's underwater. There's another trail that goes, but it stopped here, and then it was just a mess of
What I'm
marsh.
saying is, if they're saying it's a
Yeah.
complete loop, that is just a
Okay.
blazing issue. That doesn't get to the wetlands issue. That is a much bigger issue that trumps whether or not it ends up being a loop or not, because we can always make that clear. But we have to deal with the issue at hand, which is a proposal
For the RDA.
to put something into the wetland, yeah. So I think we should focus on that first, because if we can't find a design plan that is low enough of impact for us, then it really doesn't go anywhere
Yeah.
from there.
And another discussion, a question I had is, how is this going to be built? Is it going to be, what type of material? How is it going to be built? Is there going to be gasoline-powered generators out there? Is it going to be cut on site? Are there going to be, you know, if there's plastic Trex decking being used, where is that cutting going to take place?
So any cutting or drilling will absolutely take place off-site,
Okay?
so that any materials won't get anywhere on site.
Okay.
So absolutely no generators should be required.
How about
on
like,
site.
so there's, all cutting will be done off-site?
Yes.
Okay.
All the materials will be prepared beforehand to be put together there.
And what type of fasteners will you be using to put this material together? Will be nails, bolts, screws?
Yes, I believe nails.
Because,
Galvanized.
well,
Either galvanized or
see,
stainless.
nails can be an issue because.
Yeah, it won't be nails, it'll be
in-
galvanized bolts.
Yeah, I'd rather see bolts, because nails get lost in dirt and then get found by a animal stepping on them, or people. And what type of material for the decking?
That's all pressure treated wood.
Okay, pressure treated. And Bill, you had a question?
No, I was just going to point out for the commission's convenience that a larger scale, very similar type project was approved by the commission in 2013 as an RDA for the DCR.
I think you had a picture of that, Steve?
Yes, Massimo also does.
Yeah, because I did take a look at the
You mean on
picture.
Douglas State Forest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so that's different on a park property, which is one of the points we've been making, the difference between a park property and a conservation
With all due
property.
respect for the points you raised, it's not different.
Yeah, it is, the function of the property is different when we talk about increasing.
You were talking about wetland
Can I
impact.
finish? Increasing recreational usage and the traffic. So boardwalks and bridges, as I said earlier, are known to increase public traffic off a site, which is appropriate for a park whose main purpose, its mission, is in fact public usage, whereas this was conservation property whose main priority is conservation, wildlife and habitat conservation. So parks and conservation lands do not have the same mission, nor do wildlife management areas. So different open spaces are designated for different primary functions. And so it doesn't mean that they're absolute, but when you talk about preserving the mission of a particular parcel, you have to remember what it was actually designated as. And this is not designated as a town park. It's designated as town conservation land.
Question. Don Fontaine on Charles Street. There's a very clear path that's there, and there's a parking area, and it looks, like it's inviting people to enjoy it. There's not many people enjoying it now. This was to get, people over that little bit of space that's impassable at the moment. So just to make that point that.
No, I understand completely. I think the easiest analogy I could provide would be, not to saying that this is equivalent either, so I'm taking another thing that's still apples to oranges. So I don't want to imply that I'm saying it's the same thing. But as another analogy, if we put park on the one end of the spectrum, the other end of the spectrum would be like a state wildlife management area. They also have parking lots. They also have trails. But the mission of those things is for wildlife, entirely for wildlife management, and not designated as for inviting people to come use trails, meaning the trails are there, but the trails are not maintained. The idea is that you come to a wilderness setting and you are okay with being in a wilderness setting. There's still parking lots so that you can get there, and there's still trails, but the trails are not boardwalked and they're not bridged.
But of course, this has the pallet inside it, so this is making it.
But we don't know who brought the pallet.
If we
Right.
would
That would be like saying-
gladly remove the pallet.
Yeah, that would be like saying.
Yeah,
there's-
but it could have been clear again.
That would be like saying, well, there's ATV trails, so therefore we should be able to bring our ATVs. It's like, just because the trails are there, doesn't mean that the town
I
put
guess my
that there.
point in that is that a pallet gets there once, maybe gets removed, maybe it goes there again. This is to make something a little bit more
Yeah.
friendly.
As
Well, that's my point about the friendliness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
just one
Bill.
more point. I'm not sure if everyone took a look at the memo from town council in the packet. It does say that the deed specifies that the land is to be used broadly for conservation purposes and includes no particular restrictions against any particular use, including, as is relevant here, passive recreation.
Absolutely. Conservation is not synonymous with recreation, nor is those are still different classifications. So the habitat and the wildlife still takes precedent. And since we are here because there's a wetland there, the wetland by the Wetland Protection Act still takes precedent. So I mean, still, we have to be true to what this commission is, which is first and foremost, we're protecting the wetland. So you're asking there could be the current impacts versus these future impacts, and we're looking at the two and deciding whether or not one is greater than the other. That's our job here.
Okay, so we need to look at possibly a different crossing site. And if, you don't want to build it there, that's up to you. So do you want us to make a decision tonight, or do you want us to continue this possibly to the next meeting? And you can come up, maybe look at the other areas.
I would be. I would be very willing to do a site walk.
Okay,
Anyone to review that. Should we plan that right now?
okay.
Massimo, actually, why don't you and I take a look first before wasting the board's time in case we decide we just want to can it and go someplace else. So why don't we'll get back to the board saying that if we'd like to do a site walk with the board, if that's okay.
All right. Okay, so we'll continue this until, it'll be a month, because we only have one meeting in May.
Yeah, that's okay.
After that issue.
7:30?
Okay, so our next meeting is May 14th,
No, why don't we do 7:20?
7:20. Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
They would have
Yeah.
copies of what I should, yeah. They should.
Anybody else have any more comments before we continue it? Questions? Okay. All right, so,
I move that we continue the public meeting until May 14th at 7:20.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call Steve and he'll get back to you. Okay, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Now. Next we have 7:45. RDA public meeting for oh, Bill, you had something else, didn't you?
Yeah, quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, under discussion, we'll just, while he's here, we can look him up. It was for Soldiers Field?
Yes. Bill Cundiff, town engineer. As you know, the state's in the process of repaving Manchog Road, and this came up quickly. The highway department had an opportunity to receive some of the grindings from the asphalt, and John would like to shore up the parking lots at both Soldiers Field and at Road Park. So specifically, I took some ortho photos, and I drew in green on both of those the jurisdictional area.
This is Martin Road.
This one's
Okay,
Martin
yeah.
Road, this one is Soldiers Field. Basically, the blue outline is the area of work that John would like to place the material. So here, in both cases, it would be a 3-inch layer of the regrind
Was-
over. So
Was the driveway?
Martin Road's here,
Okay,
this is
yeah.
the driveway coming up.
Oh, that's far enough away.
Yeah, and here's the lower field. So this is the parking area for the lower field, and this is just the parking area next to Soldiers Field.
Because this has already got regrind on it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's all they've been before us in the past.
So if you want us to file an RDA, I view this as maintenance of the parking areas, which is why I'm here informally tonight. So there are activities that are exempted in both the riverfront area and the wetland buffer zones if it's viewed as maintenance activities. So that's my logic with,
This is the river, I assume.
that's the Mumford River, yeah. So it's within the 200. There's an area that encroaches within the 100 on that one.
So what do you think, board? Do we need an
I think you
RDA? Do we need a filing?
I'm fine with
I
it.
think,
You're fine.
yeah, I'm fine. This is maintenance, like you say, maintenance of an existing parking area, and that stuff wears off with time, so.
It packs in. Yep. Okay.
Okay,
So by consensus, we agree it's good to go.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Good night. Sorry.
Is that item number 1 down here? on the
Yes.
discussion?
Yep. Get on my throat tonight.
Just a heads up.
Oh,
that you
yeah.
have a quorum for 21 minutes.
Yep. Brady has to leave.
I have to leave at 8:30.
Wow.
So
And
we
then
have
we lose
a
quorum, so
public
you're
meeting
done.
for 133 Monroe Street.
Quorum.
Oh,
John Peru. An RDA.
What does
RDA mean?
Request for determination of applicability.
Good, so,
Wait a minute, I gotta read the ad. If it has one here.
What do you
Bring
need?
The ad from the paper.
Oh, we have it.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Yep.
I told you.
The town of
Right,
Douglas
yeah.
will hold a public meeting for John Peru on 4/17 at 7:45 PM, Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. Proposed request for determination, excuse me, of applicability work is 133 Monroe Street, Douglas, Mass., and the applicant is requesting permission to deliver a 14 by 30 shed. Okay, go ahead. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm John Peru,
I'm Sally Peru.
my wife.
Thank
We
you.
bought the property about a year and a month ago where we moved in. And about a month or so ago, or
You can put it on the table here.
Yeah, you can.
a couple of months ago, I purchased a shed before I pulled a permit and found out that I am supposed to worry about this wetland stuff. And this is the latest print she gave me, which is '04. Steve gave me a print that was missing '04, but he had it all colored in real nice, but I think she put it in the folder. most of the print is right.
This is the septic.
Did you get the folder
plan?
here?
Septic.
Well, this,
So,
yeah, it's showing the
This
septic.
one?
The whole thing?
Colored one?
this is color one, no,
Now
there's
it's
another
color.
one.
That's all we really needed to know,
What
because
is
this is
that?
the
The,
50 foot. Here's the wetland,
Well, that's the colored
here's
one.
the 50 foot, and the 100 is right here.
Steve has the,
We just made it.
So when you go out in the field, you can see, I got some photos too, the driveway is different than that. The driveway didn't go to the left. So he wants to put the shed 50 feet from the edge of the house. I went out, you guys weren't home, but I went out and wheeled it. This is where you're gonna put it, I took some photos. So the driveway really comes straight in.
Right.
And the shed's gonna be come here where the proposed driveway was. So I had them get the septic as-built to use as a reference. So the septic as-built is actually gonna, septic as-built is actually gonna take the existing, which is that, and then show the existing house. The only thing they didn't show was the driveway. On my photos in here, you can see the driveway goes straight in.
That's a picture of it
Doesn't
here.
go to the left.
Yeah, there's a picture of our
This is the one.
So
real
if
driveway.
you go by the
Doesn't come around.
plan, and he said he was gonna put the shed,
This is what the shed
the shed was
is gonna
you
be,
think the
just
shed- You think the shed was gonna come way out
a
here?
nice shed.
No, it's 21 feet from the edge of the house.
To the house, right?
This shed, the 8x14 shed, was there when we purchased the house. I want to bring in a 14x30 shed.
Right next to it.
Right next to it, about
See,
5 feet apart,
This is the existing one there. We just want to put it right here next to it.
right in front of that, wherever he was storing wood there.
So here's the, picture of the house.
Oh, yeah.
And the shed's pretty much gonna go where this pile was. The proposed driveway had the driveway coming way over here.
Yeah, that wasn't right.
So I'm just raising the dirt up, because I read the scale here.
So it'll be right next to that, to what we were just looking at?
Yes.
The pile is gonna be right there.
The scale is 1 inch equals 20 feet.
thank you.
You got enough plans?
Yeah, it's getting a little,
Getting a little clammy.
So 1 inch equals 20 feet from the side of this house to here is 4 inches, so that gives me 80 feet. I'm only using like up to 50.
well, as far as, I wouldn't quite put it like that. So, for example, we have jurisdiction over anything here, and what I'm trying to reconcile is if it were, it's going outside the footprint of the original proposed
A
driveway.
little bit, yep.
Okay, that's what I wanted to
Yep.
be sure of, yeah.
Probably
Which
a-
was the 100.
No. Well, but it was just outside the
Well,
50.
it's gonna go right, pretty much where he's showing it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But the house stops here, is that
The house is actually proposed, is right where it's proposed there.
right? Right here.
Yep.
And the garage is here.
Well, the 2 garages
Yeah.
are going in this way.
Right,
This is
right.
the garage.
But does the garage really end right here, or does it end there?
No, that's the garage. This is
Okay.
supposed to be the, I guess, the turnaround into the garage.
So they put instead of having the bay doors on the side, and that it had.
Yeah, no, I get it, I get it.
Straight in. So I think the original proposal comes out to where his dirt pile is, and he might come out a little bit on his shed.
Well, you can see the shed won't be any longer than, it'll be equal right to the face of the front of that shed, and then go
Closer
back,
to the wetlands.
Yeah, but it's the behind that we're interested in. I mean,
and it'd be going in, what, 21 feet from the side of the house.
So what will be
Where the
the
shed
closest
goes.
point, Steve, to the wetland? It'll be
30
within the
feet.
50,
It'll be
right?
outside the 50.
Oh, outside
Yeah.
the 50.
yeah, it runs parallel to the
It
50.
runs parallel, so it'll be outside the 50.
This one shows the edge of the garage at the 50. I don't know what the other drawings show. So but he's talking about putting it over here?
Yeah, right in
He's
this
moving
area.
Yeah.
The area that's closer, right
No,
here.
yeah, here, this, it's going right here.
Wetlands here.
I agree with
This
that.
picture shows it
Yeah, look at
better.
this
See-
one.
See, there's where the garage is, there's the end there, and there's where the shed is, where you're seeing that. This is where the shed's gonna go right, just right next to where this is. And there's a lean-to, whatever, behind the shed. Our shed will be just a little bit past those, so it'll be like side by side.
You can see it here.
Pictures, Steve?
See the two red boxes?
Have any other
Let me
one?
get this thing out of
That's
here.
And
existing.
the other shed, all the existing shed and everything, that's all gonna
Right
stay.
there.
Yes.
And then this one goes right, even with this one.
What do you think
set
about,
back 30 feet.
Conditioning
This is
or
14
controls
feet.
around that big old pile?
And this is the,
And while they spread it?
It's 50-foot
Yeah.
mark.
All right.
But they weren't home, so I didn't stick around too long
Yeah,
when I was taking the photos.
so,
Well, what is that big
If we
pile
issue-
of,
It's to
Stuff
level out the, somebody puts the shed, I think, the level.
Just to level it.
so if we give you a negative RDA, that's a good thing, because that means we're saying negative, you don't need to file, which costs money to file and do the whole process. So it's a good thing if we say it's a negative, okay? Does that make sense? But we can condition a negative, meaning we can say it's a negative as long as you do the following. And the one thing I'd like to see is some erosion control around the back side of that, around that pile, so that if you got a really good, even now and while you're working with it, if you got a good rain, it couldn't run into the 50-foot buffer zone.
so where would you recommend on this plan?
Yeah, let's do it on this one.
It's got to be placed?
My pen has taken
Right
a
here?
wall.
That it?
Thank you, yes. So right now, you guys have like a pile that's somewhat like right here. I think it goes past, just past the back edge of your current shed.
Well, it's flat now.
Oh, it's already flattened? It's not
Yeah.
that?
No.
So what's that pile for?
Well, no, meaning that it was
That was
there.
just to finish up.
Since I
That was
took it, it was flat, you flattened it since I took it?
Yes.
Oh,
And
Yeah, that was
basically,
just,
later on, I want to
flatten
go
it
along the
out.
side
How
and
soon
level
are you
it.
gonna get the shed in?
It's on a hill.
Well, it's on hold now, but it's been ready for over a month.
So I guess what I'm saying is, if you told me you could get it in like within, because we're getting rain on Thursday, if you could get it in ASAP, then I wouldn't care about it. But having this open dirt within the,
What if we cover it with tarps? And cover it all
That
up?
would work.
'Cause
If
we
you
were thinking
covered
on
it
doing that
right up until the
anyways.
day that you get your shed arrived, that would be great, because which you want your
Yeah.
dirt to stay put, right? I mean, you
Exactly.
put it
That's
there,
why we
right?
were gonna do it
Exactly.
anyways, yeah.
So,
I can't.
that would work.
I can't, I have to schedule it to whenever they can deliver. it,
Right.
But I gotta finish it up with 3/4 inch rock. But
Yeah, that's
I
on my
cover
list.
everything in plastic. I've got tarps, all kind of tarps to cover that, because I can't afford to keep buying this fill. Just
Right.
to let it wash away.
Exactly, you don't want that to wash away.
They don't want it to wash away, so we're on the same page.
Great, if you guys can get some of your tarps
So-
out, because we're getting rain
We'll
on
do that,
Thursday.
yeah.
Tell me again what that pile of dirt is to be used for?
To level out the yard.
Yeah, because see, the yard goes like this, right there, goes down a little hill, so we got dirt to, so it's straight, so that when the shed's there, it's like the one next to it, it's all straight.
The level out the
Straight and
shed.
level, but so that dirt is a result of your making that area suitable for the new shed? Right?
Yes.
they brought
Okay,
fill
and
in
you're
too.
gonna redistribute it where?
Just
Right where it is.
enough where the shed's
Right,
at.
right where you see it's at.
They're gonna just pancake it.
Yeah, he's got a tractor, so he just leveled it out a little bit, and he's just running back and forth with the tractor, making it hard. And then we have to put rock on top, and then the shed.
It's not going out any further than what's already cleared.
Yeah, oh, no, no.
You think, Mike?
Yeah,
Brandy?
I think
Yeah, I make a
Okay.
motion to issue a negative RDA with the condition that they put a tarp over the dirt as soon as they can.
Do that first thing in the morning.
second.
Okay.
Second.
Motion
So
been
you're
made
all
and
set.
seconded, all in favor?
Okay to go?
Aye.
I can go ahead and schedule it
Yeah.
for a couple of weeks or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
This is easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we don't have
Great.
to come back. Thank you all
Okay.
very much.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Have a good one, enjoy.
All right, Woodland Road did ask for a continuance to 5/14 at 7 o'clock PM.
So moved.
Do I hear a second? Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, boy, 20 minutes. Okay, 44 Orange Street, Paul Chase, public hearing, notice of intent.
Hi, folks. Lance Anderson, Heritage Design Group.
I have to read the ad from the paper, hold on. I think I have it, or do you have it? Good. Perfect, thank you. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Paul Chase on Tuesday, April 17th at 8 o'clock PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40. Proposed work location will be done on 44 Orange Street and involves construction of a new single-family house driveway with utilities and grading in the buffer zone, with a limited project wetland crossing and construction of a wetland replication area. Okay?
Lance Anderson, Heritage Design Group. We have a 66...
Oh, 1 second, I needed the green card.
I'm sorry.
Do you have them? Great, thank you.
We have a 66-acre site. Gentleman would like to build a gentleman farm, if you will, with cattle and horse. I've got a proposed wetland crossing with a replication area.
Can you see?
No, I need you to step back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How's that?
Perfect.
The barn and the outbuilding will be outside of the 200-foot riverfront. I've got an intermittent that turns into a perennial, and the house is located outside the 200-foot riverfront also. Ecotech flagged the site in February, and
I see the 100. Is the 200 on here?
the 200.
I see the 100.
Yeah, this is the 200
Thank
of the.
you.
This is the 200 of the riverbank.
Got it.
And the 100 is,
Right. The wetlands are
okay.
much further.
So really, the barn's out of our jurisdiction. It's just the drive, is that right?
The barn and the farm building, but he would like to clear to create pasture. There's an isolated wet that's under your jurisdiction for the Douglas bylaw
So how much does he want to clear? Where's the edge of proposed clearing?
at 50 feet.
Oops, sorry.
Right.
He'd like to stump and clear. And this is my erosion control. This would be 17 acres of pasture.
So
What,
is it-
what happens over here? What's
The
that?
wetlands head off site.
They just stop?
Oh, these.
Well, yeah, actually, they get further from our site, further from where we're building. They're going
Well,
away.
you're clearing, so it's important.
Yes, yep, they're going
But your
off.
limit-
Right, but
but
you-
you don't show, you stop your limit of clearing.
Yeah, where's your clearing continue?
Oh, I'm
Can you
sorry.
Connect that line? There you
On
go.
top too. Up on top too.
Yeah, connect
Over
that.
there.
So it's a beautiful entrance, you know, it's existing cart path that goes all the way to the existing house.
Well,
I have a-
I'm sorry, Steve, proposed house.
Well, proposed house, thank you. And I have I have a video of the stream, which is the major part. And then when you go in, it's pretty, it's all, a lot of ledge, is it ledge? Is that all ledge? I mean, that's pretty high up.
I would think it's ledge, we haven't,
It's a
you know,
tough piece of terrain.
the out front was excellent results for the proposed septic. But I think the material does change when you come up
You're going
back.
up 30, 40 feet.
We're not gonna do any work within your, no earthwork, whatever it takes to make pasture, which would be
So,
cut and stump.
all right, so what my initial, because I didn't get a chance to walk the rest of the wetlands, but the area in the back, what struck me is why he's so much area and it's so steep. it's not like a flat area, that to go so close, why does he have to go within the buffer zone at all? Because the more buffer zone he has, some of that steepness, he's gonna be a lot of clearing, a lot of grubbing, that you give more buffer zone for any runoff and vegetation to the resource area. So that was one question I had. Why does he have to squeeze so much into the jurisdiction of the commission? And then the second was the crossing itself, and I'll just do a quick video of the crossing. I'm at the crossing looking out towards the street.
You were out there after snow.
I was there
Awesome.
this weekend.
That's after snow.
Yep. So I don't know if you're showing the plan. I'm coming right up to the crossing itself.
Yep.
And this is a perennial stream, so open bottom culvert, you
Yep.
meet the open ratio.
Yep. And I have, correct.
Where's-
One
Excuse me, where is that on your drawing?
right here.
Right.
MA 29 is right here. That's the crossing.
That's it.
Underwater.
That's because it's a stream, perennial.
And it just goes up pretty high. So, it's pretty shallow. It's an existing
Yep.
cart path, which
Yep.
you're utilizing. I know you deviated out of the cart path because it was wet, which is nice, and then came back.
Correct.
So you're outside of it, and then, so the the plan didn't really show, I don't know if it was another sheet, showed too much on the construction of maybe you got into what you're using to cross. Is it timbers, is it open bottom?
Steel.
Steel.
Yep.
So you footings,
Yep, two concrete footings.
so you're gonna span,
I'm gonna span the brook.
and then put a decking on top,
Yes.
and then, so for cement trucks and whatnot, it's gonna be heavy enough load.
Correct.
And then
Because he's gonna have to access with
Right.
hay and so forth
And then
back to the barn.
The path itself, then, do you get into upgrading the existing cart path at all?
We're gonna have to improve the existing cart path
Right, all from the.
Which entails what?
from Orange Street, through the whole site.
So what does that entail? Improving?
Take out the top and sub and
Now, is that part of this?
bring in material.
Yeah.
That is not part of this because that's outside of your jurisdiction, except for, I've got a wetland crossing, I've got an edge of, wetland that we're going by, the isolated A series.
In the very beginning?
Correct.
Yeah, it's just a little tiny.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that path is pretty well.
Yeah, that I'm,
I don't think I followed that. I'm sure it's just me orienting myself to the plan, but this is the road we're talking about. And so as of right here, if you're improving that road, isn't that all within our jurisdiction?
yes, it is.
So when
Yep.
you say that the improving of the road
this
is
is
all
all-
outside of our jurisdiction, I'm not following that.
From here forward.
Okay, all right.
to
But
Orange.
I was asking, what exactly does it mean to improve the road? I'm still looking for
To
details
re-
on that.
To make it a passable.
I know, but what does that
So everything in the
entail? What do you
riverfront
do
area is in our
to it?
jurisdiction, and there's no detail on that span. Is there?
On the driveway? No, it'd be standard
here,
construction procedure.
Okay, I'm not in construction, so
Okay.
I actually need you to tell me.
I'm gonna take out the top and sub and replace with gravel.
Okay, and erosion controls and,
Right, erosion control will be in the whole way. Correct.
all right, so it's gonna be gravel. Is it gonna be widened?
So more detail on that within the riverfront area, anything within our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're showing erosion control here.
Are you widening the
But
road?
not here, and that's within our jurisdiction.
Yeah, and there's a wetlands edge right here.
Correct.
So you'd wanna bring your erosion controls all the way around.
All the way down and around, yeah.
Correct.
There's clearing and.
So yeah, I'm
grading,
sorry, are you
grading.
widening the cart path? For that road, where you're improving the road, is it
No.
also gonna be wider than what it is now?
No, I don't plan on widening the cart path.
Okay, so what's the width of it?
The width now varies from 8 to 12 feet.
Are you gonna follow that variation?
Yes.
Or are you gonna make it uniform?
I'm gonna make it uniform.
So
But
8 feet
You're
is
gonna make
wide
it-
enough for cement trucks?
Wouldn't,
Wait, you're gonna make it uniform at what width?
I'd like to make it uniform at 12 feet.
Okay, so there are places where you are widening it.
There's places that it's wider than 12.
So, right, so another
Okay.
concern would be, there's no contour lines, I mean, so that you're gonna file for like a NIFTY's permit, you're clearing so much vegetation, what are you, you're gonna just go in there and forest cut everything? It's gonna be an open pasture, is that what you're creating?
I would like to create pasture, correct.
So so you have that logging operation, and then you're gonna stump, and you're gonna grade, and then, you know, you have like a 50-foot elevation change from the top of that hill to the bottom.
Okay.
How you gonna control the whole site? Are you doing it in stages? You're gonna,
I would phase
like,
it,
you're
absolutely.
gonna do, how many acres is that?
This approximately 17.
So you're gonna do all 17 at once?
No, I'm gonna phase it.
So do we have a
right.
sequence for that?
I'd like to get the barn and
No, I mean, do you have a
Outbuild.
written sequence on your plan for all that?
Because right now, I anticipate you could someone come in, just have one open,
If somebody wanted to,
one
they could just
open
come
area,
in.
you can clear it, you rub it, and it's just all disturbed soil.
Right.
And they walk away.
No, I understand that. I would like to do it
Right.
cut, stump, dig,
Like an acre at a time.
backfill,
or
correct,
5 acres at a,
correct.
Need that written out in a sequence note on the plan.
Okay.
You have a question, Mike?
Yeah. Is this you?
Oh, no, that was the last one.
Good,
Oh,
because
okay.
that looks good.
No,
Looks
that
like
was
a hell of a
that
lot
was
more than
different. That was
a
a different one
goat
altogether. Question,
Thank you.
your erosion control, is your erosion control actually the mounded wood chips?
I'd like it to be, yes. That this is gonna create a lot of
No,
chipping.
I wouldn't be comfortable, not with the degree of clearing that's
Instead of
going
straw
on.
wattles?
Instead of straw wattles, no. Straw wattles that are staked into the ground is what you're gonna have to do.
Okay.
Because of the
Did-
massive quantity of disturbance going on.
The client's
there.
very concerned about the silt fence ending up in a dumpster, you know, when he's done all that. If we could do straw wattles and not silt fence, I think there's a lot of, you know, there's a
As
lot
long
of.
as they're staked, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
As long as they're staked in
Silt
and
fence
they're
never
maintained in
stands
good
up
condition.
anyway.
No, I know, that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Straw
with-
wattles are better.
but I still don't know why he's gotta go so, you know. is there-
Yeah,
he's
so
gotta
that's,
go 100?
He wants a farm, you know, he wants to build a, you know, this is what he would like to do.
well, yeah, I mean, you gotta think about, like, for example, a barn. A barn and horses are gonna produce manure, massive quantities of manure. Where's that going where it is not going to erode into, or travel into the wetlands?
It should be outside of your area, you know, he should keep it outside of your 200 feet.
Hey, can you put contours on the plan?
I could, yeah.
And it's for me, could you maybe send me a plan that has the traverse?
Sure.
Just so I can follow cut lines, and when you're out there in the middle of nowhere, I can see your traverse, your control points.
Okay.
That's why I look at the wetland flags to orientate yourself, but it's so much up, it's on the perimeter, so when you're in the middle of that site,
Well, I could certainly walk it with you also. Anything that I could save the client.
without redoing the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if I could, I'll definitely walk it with you, if that would help.
Well, don't we already have edits on the plan? We've already required several edits,
Well,
so the plan's being
that's something
redone
different
anyways.
above and
Okay.
beyond, but
What about, could we find a middle ground with this clearing, for example, if we don't stump within the 100? Because you're clearing and
Sure.
stumping all the way to the 50, and that's pretty aggressive. And that doesn't really allow for, as Steve already pointed out, the amount of erosion that's gonna happen where we're not only cutting but also removing stumps. We're gonna have nothing there to hold the soil in place.
And if there are steep contours.
Well, that's the
there's
thing, yeah. we
there's
really
nothing
do need to
steep,
see
there's
it.
nothing steep in this area.
Okay.
There's nothing steep in this
Actually,
area.
I think
There is?
maybe it's a
I
good
don't think
idea
it
to
is.
There
have
is.
contours.
I think we need
Up in the middle.
contours on
Back.
this.
Well,
need-
it's steep between the, is that Schwartz's property?
Yes, this is.
Yeah, so that's a big valley.
There has to be, or else you're not gonna have a wetland, you know what I mean? Like, unless you're saying
No,
it's a
no,
virtual
right,
wetland.
there's not a big grade change between the wetland and the buffer
Where's the
zone.
high point where he had some flagging up your
Yep.
marks up there? Was that right there?
Right in here.
That's the highest point
Yeah.
around?
Yep,
And it's pretty
Go-
steep on either side.
yep.
Yeah, we are gonna need the topographic lines on the map for us to judge what's being cut versus what's there now. And what, how the grading's gonna change.
Okay.
We definitely need that on
So the
there.
contours.
Sorry, yeah.
It would be better for the commission if I came back with less of a cut in here? Kept it at your
100.
100, that would make the commission,
Oh, if you kept it at the 100, we'd shut up because we have no jurisdiction outside of the 100.
well, you
So-
do here because of the river.
Yeah.
Well, the
But only in
200,
the
yeah, but
yeah,
then
river
you're talking
front
about this little smushing right here. But I mean, right now, we have jurisdiction because you're
Whole
cutting all the way
area.
inside the
Right,
50.
right.
If you go to the 100, then we only can chat here and here, and you've really shut us right up. Which I say is a good thing. Shut us up.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still need your permission, obviously, for the crossing.
Yes.
In order of conditions for the crossing.
Yeah. And for cutting, I guess, inside that 200 riverfront.
And
Right,
and
I think, I'm sorry.
the
go ahead.
replication area, do we have one on here?
Yeah, where's that?
Yes, you do, I'm sorry. Do you folks have the sheets that I gave you, Steve? Because the plans,
Like this, kind of?
Sorry about that.
Somewhere in here? Must be it.
yeah, this is my steel fiber bridge. This is the replication. It's double the size of the 1.5 times the size of the crossing. So that, see, I don't have sheet 2 or 3 with me. Sorry about that.
You don't really have an
that-
open ratio because you're
That's the,
standing.
that's right.
So you're not putting any,
I have,
some footings going with-
Correct.
with the stream stay.
correct.
And then, is it high enough to take care of any flooding?
Yep. Total of a 20-foot span.
I have to go. Do you want me to continue this now, so that you can get a motion on the table to continue it?
Continue this now so that,
If you want a
Yeah.
motion, you need me here because
Yeah.
you're gonna be without a quorum in a second. So would you like me to make the motion to continue? I know we'd like to discuss this more, but I have to leave.
Is
and
there,
then we don't have a quorum, so.
okay. Is there any way that I can get approval with the driveway, with this erosion control showed by this wetland on Orange Street? Because I have a approved septic design and I'm trying to construct the house.
I'm sorry, where is that on this?
It's not. This is Orange Street. This is outside the 100-foot, and this is
Yeah.
a wetland.
So I can't just look at this now and make a decision. I'm not going, I mean, I haven't looked, if we've been talking about that for the last 15 minutes, that would be different, but now you're talking about something brand new and I'm literally putting my jacket on. So I can't talk about that. I won't vote on it right now because we haven't discussed
We need a
that.
lot more detail.
On this?
I'm just saying, I don't have time to.
She's gotta
even-
leave
Oh,
in
okay,
like 10
okay.
seconds and then we
So-
don't have a quorum.
All
Yeah,
right, I understand.
So we can't give you, any more input.
we're down
Yep.
one person tonight, so that's
Gotcha.
why. So,
Sorry about
what I'm
that.
saying is you need a motion to continue this hearing and you need to do that while I'm still here. So would you like that motion? And if so,
Yes.
what date would you like that to?
What do we got, Steve?
May 14th at 7:30.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But we will, you know, where we're heading with the topography we need to see. And I've written another note. We need a sequence for the clearing. Of course, if it's gonna be outside our 100, we won't need that anymore,
Right.
if you're gonna reduce that.
Thank you, folks.
All right, sorry
Appreciate it.
about that. Thanks for coming in. Now we have two more. Oh, Brandy didn't sign anything. Oh, shoot.
She can come in. You guys,
She won't. Darn it. And we don't have a meeting. Another week. Anyway,
Do we,
I'll
try to run?
Huh?
Think we can catch her before
She's
No, she's-
gone.
where's
Yeah.
Tracy? You know, where's-
She's on vacation. We don't have a quorum right now.
Can we just,
No.
We can't talk about anything.
not even informational?
Go ahead. Huh?
It's not a vote, so you need a quorum for a vote. I think more.
Actually, we
need a quorum to open it.
To even look at a letter or, yeah, anything.
I don't think, based on the sidewalk from my own, I don't think there was too much troubles out there. but,
No, we
Unfortunately,
we moved the stakes as we discussed. We did those things that we discussed on the sidewalk.
Oh, this was for 64 Depot. Yeah, we can't talk about anything. And especially the one member who was at the sidewalk just left.
Sure.
I mean, what you
So-
can with, rule of necessity is, continue the meeting.
Oh, yeah, we have to continue it till the next meeting, which would be
May 14th,
May 14th,
at what time?
7,
early?
I'm gonna do every 10, 7:40.
Which one is this, 64 or 68 or both?
64 Depot.
Yeah, we're gonna continue both.
7:40 and 7:45.
Can we do that without a quorum?
But we have to, rule of necessity.
Yeah, it's gonna get rolled over.
All
So which
right.
one is, the one is...
All right, so the first one,
One's a
Sorry?
continuation, right?
64 is a
64 is a continuation. Yeah, we have a DEP number for it.
Yeah.
And 68, we should be getting a DEP
Yeah,
number.
but the one you're doing first is the,
68.
is the opening, right?
Right.
So 68,
68.
so continue that till 7:40?
yep. 68,
All right, and the other one will continue to 7:45?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that, doesn't happen often. I think like once every 3 years, we don't have a quorum. Sorry about that. If you want to hold on to those?
Yeah, these are copies, revised
Yeah, but you wait
copies.
until the next meeting and then you can
Just bring them in.
bring them in. Yeah, okay, thank you. Oh, darn. Anyway,
Beagle Club.
yeah, I don't know why she still got them on there because we decided they
say,
didn't have to
they
do
didn't
have to.
anything.
they wanted to be on.
Because,
They asked.
Again?
No, they asked at the last meeting, we're gonna make, what did you wanna do? And to make a decision, they said, oh, well, why don't we, think we're gonna talk about it and come back and...
Oh, well, they're not here and
but
it's
they didn't have to.
after
That is about
8:35.
the RDA expiring is the proposals, right? So I mean, it doesn't expire,
It
so
doesn't
they've got
expire.
to.
But I thought they said that before we do anything, that they wanted to talk about it and come back. I might be wrong.
Maybe they want to,
I'll review the tape.
So we'll just put them on anyways, as last thing. I mean, we'll put them on for...
Yeah, but then if Maria gets somebody else in the meantime, they've got to be bumped out because Beagle Club, right? Well, why don't we can we put Beagle Club in between someone? That way we can just gloss it over
Well, I can just
or
do...
close it.
I can just do 7:05, and that way...
Cool, that sounds good. Perfect.
7:05 for what?
Yeah, Beagle Club.
On the 14th?
Yeah. That way, it's better to have them jammed together, so that way if no one shows up, you're not sitting around.
Yeah. And I'll look at the tape to see what we decided. If we just said, good luck, you know, or come on back.
I remember them making that comment. It was after we said you're already cleared to go. There was maybe some question of, do they want to do that, or do they
Yeah,
want to
they
change
want
what they
to-
want? They want to add to it, or?
Yeah, I thought they wanted to come back and discuss it. I might be wrong. Happens.
Yeah,
I
there
don't
could be a
remember.
discussion, that's good. 'Cause
All right, so that's that.
We didn't discuss the transfer of money from the Wetland Protection Fund. Oh my God. Oh no, Steve. Wow, that's, well, I guess we don't do it then, because we don't have another meeting.
Well,
The board did not discuss it. One of the members left and we didn't have a quorum. End of story.
well, you can always,
Right?
you can do it whenever.
Yeah, but he wanted it before the May
No, but
town
you can
meeting.
say- Yeah, but you can.
But
still-
we need to do it when there's a board, not
you
just
can bring
me.
it up- You can still bring it up on the 14th.
This was on.
This is after the meeting, though, town meeting. We'll have, that's when we'll have to
Yeah,
bring
but
it
you
up.
can- yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can still say you're gonna bring it up though, right?
So
Is-
I'm not
is
gonna
this one-
say anything to anyone, because we just didn't have a quorum. One of the members got up and left the meeting.
Is this one of those things she can do
No,
by herself? For
no,
everybody?
it's transferring funds. Yeah, that's money that requires a full board. Yep, or quorum anyway. Not just me. If that were the case, I'd been saying no all day long.
It's wishful thinking.
No, I'd transfer all of it. Because to me, this is ridiculous. Just give it to them. Give it all to them. Give them the whole 53 grand. Get it over with.
Who, to town, to the town?
Yeah. It's just kicking us in the teeth every year.
Does
You
this
know?
fund get rebuilt every year, or, I mean, how does it grow?
When people file, it goes into the Wetland Protection Fund. And that's only for the state filings, right? The town filing goes into the general fund. We never see that. That pays Steve's and Maria's.
So my question is, getting rid of this fund, essentially, or
Then we have-
emptying this fund,
Then we have no money to get outside consultants and
They
stuff
only
like
ask for-
that.
yeah.
and you said you're okay with that?
I'm fine with
That's fine with
that,
that.
because then we'll just ask for more money in our budget. We'll ask for 10 grand every year. How about them apples, buddy? Right? We'll tell those selectmen, we want an increase in our funds. No more of this $2,000-3,000 stuff.
We're still being taped, right? I guess we are, okay.
Huh?
You are.
We are being
No.
The meeting's going on.
The meeting hadn't been closed or anything.
We couldn't adjourn because we don't have a quorum.
You can adjourn.
So moved.